11th sneak attack, the murderous organization behind it has put out a new propaganda videotape. It was shown today on the Arab satellite television channel Al Jazeera. On this Al-Qaeda tape are the suspected mastermind of the attack, Osama bin Laden, and some of the assassins who carried it out. Al Jazeera also says it interviewed two Al-Qaeda terrorists who it is said revealed the original plan for the attack on America. CBS News correspondent Richard Roth has the pictures and the story.
The tape, says Al Jazeera, showed up in today's Mail, apparently the voice of Osama bin Laden, who's not seen, in an eerie homage to the September 11th hijackers. He calls them men who changed history, but when this was recorded isn't known. Yet it includes one of the hijackers reading what Al Jazeera calls a will praising bin Laden, and scenes ostensibly recorded in Kandahar, Afghanistan, long before the attacks on America. 4 men said to be among the hijackers, and pictures of training with flight manuals and textbooks and a map of Washington. Al Jazeera believes Al-Qaeda's marking the anniversary of the attacks, and that's why its correspondent Yusri Fuda was summoned to Karachi, Pakistan, blindfolded and led to a hideout to interview 2 of its most senior figures, both among the FBI's most wanted terrorists. Fuda says they told him Al-Qaeda's original plan didn't involve the World Trade Center. They told you the original plan was to target nuclear power stations, but they abandoned that idea.
For now, according to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
Why?
I don't know exactly what for now means. He says to me for now means for now.
Over 2 days last June, Fuda says Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who calls himself Al-Qaeda's military commander, and Ramzi bin al-Shibh, called the coordinator of the September 11th attacks, gave a chilling account of Al-Qaeda's aims.
They wanted to make a big bang, choose targets that would be more of symbols, and at the same time cause as many deaths as possible.
The hijacked plane that crashed in Pennsylvania, he was told, was supposed to hit the Capitol building in Washington. And around the White House, he says, Al-Qaeda had conducted reconnaissance for months before deciding it would not be a target. Fuda says he was told planning began 2.5 years before the attacks, and that each man involved knew he'd be on a suicide mission from the day he left Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda's reason for talking, Fuda assumes, was to send a message.
That they are still functioning, they are well, Al-Qaeda is there, bin Laden is there.
Yet the fact is, while all the new video fits Al-Qaeda's pattern, none of it proves if bin Laden's dead or alive. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
No one is more interested in the terror tapes than U.S. intelligence. CBS News correspondent Jim Stewart in Washington reports what his sources are telling him about the significance of what's on these tapes. Jim?
Dan, U.S. intelligence officials have seen and heard the Al Jazeera tapes. They believe them to be authentic, and they say they appear to contain a level of detail about the September the 11th attacks that has never been reported before. For example, in the interviews, the Al-Qaeda officials claimed that planning for the attack started in early 1999, and that hijacker ringleader Mohammed Atta was first summoned to Afghanistan for his initial instructions in the summer of 1999. They also claim that Atta corresponded with Al-Qaeda operative Ramzi bin al-Shibh in Germany over the internet. Writing in German, Atta pretended to be a student writing his girlfriend, Jenny. Al-Qaeda had code words for the targets it selected. The World Trade Center was the Faculty of Town Planning. The Pentagon was the Faculty of Fine Arts. And Congress, the target that escaped, was the Faculty of Law. On his last call to Germany, Atta alerted his friend bin al-Shibh that a date for the attack had been selected, using the code words 2 sticks, a dash, and a cake with a stick down, or September the 11th. And of particular interest to U.S. investigators, the terrorists claim to have sent 4 surveillance teams to the United States to scout targets before Atta and the hijacker pilots arrived in the summer of 2000. Al-Qaeda also shot down a theory popular with some U.S. officials by repeating a claim made earlier by Osama bin Laden that all of the hijackers did know they were on a suicide mission. The men were selected from a special section of the Al-Qaeda training camps, they said, called the Department of Martyrs. There is also more than a touch of mockery in the tapes and interviews. The terrorists refer to September the 11th as Holy Tuesday. And one of the men, Ben Al-Shib, still has a suitcase of training material related to the attacks he calls his souvenirs. According to Al Jazeera, Ben Al-Shib says he has written a 112-page justification for the attacks and would like to enter it in the U.S. Library of Congress. Dan?
Jim Stewart reporting live from Washington.